Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to be showing you one of the best ways that I've found to not only use in building your RAG agents for your workflows, but also how you can process literally any type of document and data, such as, let's say, CSVs, PDFs, images, or literally anything else. If you stick around, I'll be showing you step by step how you can prepare and upload your data properly so that you can later ask any questions that you would like to your agent. So getting started, what we have right here is just a simple RAG agent. If you guys have been following my channel for a while, you should be more than familiar what this actually is. On the left-hand side, we have the retrieval generation. On the right-hand side, we have the normal database ingestion. So we're not going to be using this typical database ingestion. We're going to be showing off a different tool that's going to allow you to upload all of your data a lot easier, a lot faster, and even more efficiently. So this is going to in turn allow us to actually interact and retrieve any of this data properly. So let me show you exactly what I mean by this. We have in our Google Drive a few different files. So we have OpenAI's practical guides to building agents. So this goes on for about 34 pages, as you can see. They have graphs in here. We also have a other sheet going over just a very expansive Google sheet, going over just a bunch of different information. We lastly have the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report. So this considers of lengthy and in-depth paragraphs. It has some visuals with line graphs, bar charts, and so on. So if we just keep scrolling up, we can find, let's look at this one. So the technology trends driving business transformation from 2025 to 2023. So if we just copy and paste this, we're going to say, can you explain the technology trends driving business transformation from 2025 to 2030 and see what it comes back with. So this is just going to take a quick second, and we are actually using the I implore you guys to check it out for yourself. I just uploaded a video going over in depth about these models, how it's cheaper, when you should be using them, all that good stuff. So I recommend you go check that out for yourself. But we have right here from 2025 to 2030, technology trends expected to drive business transformation are AI and information processing technologies such as big data, virtual reality, and augmented reality, influencing 86% of businesses. Let's try to find something like that. So we can see right here, 86%, it's literally the first one. And it's just going to go on about robots and autonomous systems, energy generation. It's literally just mapping that out even further down below. If we go into a different document, so let's open up this long CSV. So let's see if we can expand this row, maybe not. So what I'm going to do is one of these agency names. So let's scroll way down here. So let's grab something this. So this is Millennium Challenge. I can't read what the rest of it says. Let's look for the fiscal year and the net cost in billions. So we're going to ask, what was the Millennium Challenge Corporation's fiscal year net cost? Let's make sure that was right. Net cost, that's what we're looking for. So let's just go ahead and try to find a random agency name. So we could see right here, we have the Agency for International something. So let's actually find out what this is. I'm going to say, what was the Agency for International Development? Okay, now let's just try to find something specific. So we could do earned revenue. So that would actually just be 0. Maybe we'll want us to do the gross cost in 2023. So let's go gross cost in 2023. So what is the exact number we should be looking for here? It's 36.8. If we get this mapped out in a second, it's exactly 36.8 billion. I'm going to give you guys one more particular example. Let's go into this other document. So OpenAI's practical guide to building agents. So let's see what we have here. They have what is an agent. Let's see if we could find like anything super particular. So we have agent design foundations. If we keep on scrolling, we have selecting your models. I'm just going to keep trying to find something. For example, here's how you would equip. We have selecting your models. We have defining tools and Python for that. So maybe we can ask what this Python structure is. Let's go ahead and make sure we know what to pull. We have the types, the descriptions, and everything. So what should we be asking for exactly? So what is the Python code to the agent SDK for finding a tool? So maybe we can do that. We'll say, what is the Python code for defining tools for the agent's SDK? So we'll give this a second to run. Okay, so just finished generating. It says, here's an example of how you define tools for the agent's SDK in Python. I'm actually going to open this up quite a bit so you guys can see it. And I'm actually pretty impressed because I wasn't sure that it worked this well. But as you can see, it pulled the chunks very well and perfectly. So let's just match everything to really ensure that it is the same code. So we have from agent, import agent, web search tool, function tool. Let's make scroll down, import agent, web search tool, function tool. So we have 12 lines here. and let's count out 12 lines. Yeah, everything looks perfect. So I was able to pull pretty much everything that we have tried from this document. So far it is 3 for 3. Let's see if we can get even more complex and find something else to give you guys an example. So maybe if we ask this single agent systems, so let's keep on scrolling down, see what else we could find. We can go to multi-agent systems. So we could say, just explain the multi-agent systems in depth for me. So we're going to type out explain multi-step agent systems for me as much as possible. So we're just really looking for any context as to what this stuff is. Maybe something going over manager, agent as tools, and then decentralized. So let's see how it kind of breaks this down. Okay, so the response just came back. We have MAS refers to frameworks or architectures where multiple autonomous agents interact with an environment to achieve specific goals or complete tasks. We have a pattern of multi-manager pattern, which if we come into here, we have manager. See if they have decentralized. It's exactly the second one. Key principles, use cases, and advantages, consideration. So we can ask as many questions as we would with this information because we do have the memory tool hooked up to this. So it's going to be able to grab, let's see exactly how much. It's able to grab past 5 context windows. So 5 messages ago, essentially what that means. And we can get more specific about our questions and ask more and more things. So you can imagine if you are deploying this agent on a website, you can have it be to answer your FAQs for any of your users. Maybe you're an e-commerce company and wants to reduce your tickets, or maybe if you just want to reduce the amount of questions that your employees are asking. So if they're asking the boss or maybe you a bunch of questions, and you have a knowledge base for all this stuff, there's so many different use cases. You can deploy this onto Slack so they can ask this agent. Or maybe if you're a lawyer and you want to upload any previous cases to find any relevance among the upcoming cases or anything like that, then you can just ask questions about the knowledge base and going over those previous cases instead of having to actually search through hundreds and hundreds of different pages of information trying to find exactly what you're looking for. So RAG has become a hugely popular system for being able to talk and interact with all of your data. And so far, this has been one of the easiest and most practical ways that I've found to actually upload all of your data, because it's one thing being able to chat with your data. It's another one having to actually vectorize it and upload it so that you have this knowledge base of information. Now, what we are using is a platform called Vectorize. So Vectorize is essentially just a platform that really makes it easy for developers and companies to build out different AI applications using their own unstructured data, like your documents, knowledge bases, SaaS platforms, all by transforming that data into something that's going to be optimized for your vector indexes. So it ultimately just automates the heavy lifting of data extraction, vectorization, and pipeline management so that you can just quickly create and deploy any RAG workflows without needing the deep expertise, without needing any sort of deep expertise in how to chunk and upload all of your data into proper vectors for your workflows. So go ahead and sign up for an account if you come into vectorize.io. It's completely free. If you sign up with the link down below in the description, you will get 1,500 free tokens essentially. But in any case, first thing you want to do, go to the dashboard. We're going to be building a RAG pipeline. You can see that there's a lot more things that you can actually interact with, RAG evaluations and different integrations, which we will get into on another video because this is a platform that's pretty robust and something that I plan on uploading a lot more videos on because I think it's a very useful tool for you guys in particular, and it's something that I've been using a lot more myself. So if we go into building a RAG pipeline, let's get started actually setting all of this up. All right, so what we have now is essentially just a workflow builder. We have our source, extractor, and chunker, metadata extraction, embedder, and vector database. It is relatively similar to this n8n flow, where before we were, connecting all of our different integrations like Google Drive, Pinecone, loading that data, but within Vectorize, it's actually handling the chunking and overlap and everything else a bit differently. So there's different strategies and everything that they employ to better upload your data. So if we go to our source, you can see that they have a plethora of different sources. So whether that be Discord, Google Drive, normal just file uploads, Amazon S3, so being able to upload from the Amazon bucket, Influence, Dropbox, and many more. So this is really everything that you'll probably need. If they don't have anything in here, I'm sure you could just make a request to add it in the future, but I can't imagine any use cases where you would need something else. So we're going to be using Google Drive, and we're just going to be using a few different files. It's just going to be the same exact ones that we have been using before. So the practical guide to building agents, this CSV going over some financial data, and then the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report. So these are going to be the 3 different pieces of data. Let's go ahead and try uploading that. First thing you want to do is just hook up your Google Drive account. It's super simple. All you have to do is just literally log in with your Google or Gmail account that you would like to use your Google Drive folder. Now within here, you can see these different file extensions. So we have PDF, we have documents, presentations, spreadsheets, email, text, HTML, Markdown, JSON, and CSV. and of course image. We're obviously not going to be focusing on all of these, but hypothetically, if you needed to use any different type of data, I guarantee you they have it. So that's all we're going to be doing with this first part, just hooking up that source. If you would like to, you can just use file upload to upload your pieces of data individually. I'm just going to be using Google Drive because it's an easy way to kind of make everything consolidated. Next up, we have the extractor and the chunker. So the extraction strategy, if we open this up, we have fast, vectorized, iris, and mixed. Now within this, the fast option is just a simple and fast extractor that's going to work best for really plain text documents or files that have complex and visual elements to it. So it's really just going to allow you to quickly pull out the text content, but it doesn't handle images, charts, or tables with any really advanced logic. Now the iris, so what this is just a fine-tuned vision model that is designed for advanced extraction. So it's pretty much built to handle more complex documents, especially those with embedded charts or tables or images that the former doesn't handle. So it's going to be capable of parsing and understanding visual elements much more accurately than the fast extractor. Lastly, this one's pretty obvious. So this one's going to be combining both approaches, using the fast extractor for text documents automatically, switching to iris for media files such as images or PDFs, pretty much just doing this to optimize for both and optimizing for speed and extraction quality, depending on the type of content that's going to be in your data sets. So for this particular example, I figured it'd be best to use mixed because it's going to be a combination of best of both worlds and probably save us some tokens. Now down at the bottom, we have the chunking size and the chunking overlap. So what is that? Well, the chunking size in here just refers to how much text or data is grouped together into a single unit, also referred to as a chunk. This is all happening before being processed by the AI system. Now, a larger chunk size would mean that more content is included in each chunk, which can sometimes help preserve more context, but it also may make retrieval less precise. Now, on the other hand, we have overlap at the bottom. So this is just 50 right now. And this is the amount of content that is shared between consecutive chunks. So this is adding overlap, ensuring that important information at the boundaries of chunks isn't missed. And this just really improves the chances that the relevant context is going to be included in the search results. Now, together, chunk size and overlap, they help balance the context preservation and retrieval accuracy overall. So hopefully that kind of answers any questions that you might have about those two, because I constantly in my community answer that question to you guys. So we're just going to leave everything else as default. We have the chunking strategy, which I did skip over. We're going to leave this as paragraph. I haven't messed around much with both of these, but perhaps in the future video, I'll go over, using different chunking strategies. So we're going to leave the metadata extraction off. I can't see any reason why we would need to use this and include metadata of our files. I don't really want that right now. With the embedder, you can use the built-in, which is actually recommended because it's going to be faster, or you could bring your own AI platform. So that's what we're going to be using. We're going to use OpenAI. You can see here, I've already connected my API key. How you can get that, if you go to OpenAI, I'm actually going to show you quickly right now. I'm going to go to the platform. If you go into your settings and if you go to your API keys, you can see within here, all you want to do is just create a new secret key. So it is different from your ChatGPT key, but for a while, you should know this by now. So we're going to back out after you input your API key. We're going to select OpenAI. We're going to leave everything off. For the embedding model, let's make sure to choose small. So this is kind of just like the industry standard for using RAG. So make sure to choose that. Within the vector database, we're going to be using Pinecone, but feel free to use anything that you're comfortable with or anything that you've used in the past or would want to continue using, like Postgres, or you can use Quadrant or Supabase. So we will use Pinecone for this particular example. You can see we already have our account set up within here. We're going to grab that same one, but if I show you really quick, go into Pinecone. If you don't already sign up for a free account, you want to go into your API keys, just create a new one. You'll do the same thing as before with OpenAI. You'll just want to input your API key within here, select it, and you'll be good. Next up, you'll want to set up your index. So an index is essentially like different folders within Pinecone. We could see within Pinecone that I should have a database already in here from earlier. So we have Vectorize, but I'm just going to completely delete this and we're going to make the same one. So we're going to call it, is it delete that I have to type or Vectorize? Okay, so we'll type out Vectorize. We'll delete this. It's going to take a second, but if we refresh it, it shouldn't be there any longer. Now let's create a new index. Let's go to Vectorize. We're going to want to choose the embedding model that we set up earlier, which was the embedding 3 small. And we could scroll down. We'll create a Virginia server and we're going to be good to go. Now what we want to do is we're just going to copy this name and we're going to paste it back into here, into the index. Within the namespace, you could call this whatever you would like. You don't have to enter any namespace. If nothing exists, it's just just going to create one automatically for you anyways. So now the namespace, it's like a different page within your folder. So our folder is Vectorize namespace. This is like your different page. So it's kind of a way to kind of filter and sort through everything. So we'll call this Vectorized. Try to keep this all relative and rememberable, if that is a word. Now, the last thing we want to do is just deploy this RAG pipeline. So it's going to save everything. It's going to take us to this new screen, and it's just going to tell us that it's creating the pipeline, deploying everything, and starting the backfilling process. So we're going to go ahead and let this load, and I'll come back to you guys in a second. Okay, so we just finished setting up, and now we can see here that we have pretty much 0 documents across the board, but now it is filling up with everything. So it's just going to stack more and more things for us into our knowledge base, or our contextual knowledge base for us. So we can see the integration health down here. We can see that there's different categories. So we have the RAG sandbox, the initial load. You could connect this to different endpoints and everything. So if you actually want to use this within your different servers or anything like that, you don't have to just, confine yourself to n8n. We have different documents, configuration, schedule, performance, and deep research. So if you would like, you could actually schedule things to automatically upload your data. So you can have it automatically pull from your Google Drive once a day or something like that, because you guys are probably asking questions like, how can we actually update this data, upsert everything if we have new pieces of data? That's obviously going to take precedence over the old pieces of data. You'll have to use the schedule tool. In another video, we will actually go over that, but it's still uploading everything. So I'm just going to give it another seconds to actually finish processing. So while that is actually getting finished uploading and everything, you can see we're now in the listening stage. So it doesn't take too long at all. We are actually going to grab our RAG agent that we can start using this and retrieving that data from. So it's actually relatively simple, but if you guys would like, you can get the template down in my community, links down below, where we have this template. We could go to the RAG chatbot agent, just download that. If we scroll down to the bottom, we go to the files, and we could download it right here and get the JSON. How you actually import it is if you just go to here, import from file, and you just check the JSON that you just grabbed. So we're just going to continue using this one. However, the one thing that we will be changing is Pinecone. I want to actually show you guys how you can set this up step by step. So if we go to agents, we go to AI agent right here, we're going to kind of leave everything alone. We're not going to connect anything else up in there or define any additional logic. So if we just say you're a helpful assistant or something like that, it's going to be completely fine. Now, of course, we'll have to hook up an LLM. So let's just do that really quick. We'll go to 4.1. So we'll choose one of the cheapest models. We can hook up some memory, or we can leave it alone. It's not too big a deal if you leave it alone. Next up, what we'll want to do is just connect a tool right after the memory, and we'll find Pinecone vector store. Pretty simple. We'll call it knowledge base. And the description, we could say, use this to call and retrieve information from the knowledge base. So misspelling some things, but that's all right. If we're going to the Pinecone index, we should find the Vectorize somewhere in there. We could see Vectorize right there, include metadata or not. We can actually turn this off because we didn't include it from earlier. And if we just bring this down here, we will only have to add an embedding now. So if you remember from earlier, what we actually used, it was the small text embedding. It's going to be the same exact case. If you don't choose the same exact one that you're using within Pinecone or whatever platform you're using, it's not going to work. You will run into issues there. So I just wanted to preface that for you guys. Now, if we actually open up this chat, everything should be finished running by now. If we just go into here and refresh, there should be some different pages that we can actually interact with. So it seems that everything is good. It says the pipeline is done processing and it's fully created now. So if we go back into our Google Drive, let's open up one of these documents and start asking them some questions about it. So we could see a practical guide to building agents. Maybe we can ask something about that. So let's scroll down to the bottom. We could go to guardrails and all of that. So let's ask some questions about this. So let's try asking some questions about this. Let's say, what are guardrails and what are some different types of them? So let's type that out. We can see it's running through this AI agent right now. In a second, it's going to be going through the route of Pinecone. So it just came back. Guardrails are safety features or controls designed to prevent accidents, guide behavior, or reduce risk in various contexts. So below that, we have physical guardrails, digital and AI guardrails, business and process guardrails, and legal and ethical guardrails, which is pretty much exactly what we were looking for from this document. So he gets super specific about the things that we're trying to search, whether that's going to be images and you want to pinpoint specific things and ask questions about it, really just trying to make sense of your data. From here, you can even create visualizations and kind of reverse engineer things a little bit. So taking visuals, turning them into text and just asking questions about them and then turning them back into a visual. I've actually uploaded videos in the past how you can do this using NoCodeDB. So I highly recommend you go check that out on how to actually visualize your data. But yeah, guys, so that is essentially this tool. I've found it to be a way quicker way to actually ingest and automatically get some data into my knowledge base and being able to ask questions. So from here, if you would like, instead of just using a chat message, what you can do is you can use Slack. And anytime somebody asks a question in a Slack channel, what you can do is you can then send a Slack message back. So if we go into here, and one of the responses could be Slack, and we'll just find send a message, and this will be one of the response outputs right here. So we'll just turn this response from right here and put that back into Slack, just responding to the person's request. So there's different ways that you can deploy it. There's going to be different instances and use cases that you guys will all want to use. That's going to be very particular to your scenarios. So I implore you guys to check this out for yourself. It's super helpful. You can sign up for a completely free account and get a bunch of free tokens using the link down below in the description. So go check that out, use it for yourself, and start chatting with your data a little bit more intimately without having to worry about any of the headaches of maintaining that pieces of ingestion data. So I thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to see more videos of actually going over Vectorize, I plan to upload a few more in the future going over the sandbox and the schedule, because I think these are extremely useful tools that you guys might have some interest in. But, of course, drop a comment down below in the description. Let me know what you guys think, if you are interested in this sort of stuff, or if you want more content like this, or perhaps any other type of content. Let me know, and I'm more than happy to abide and help you guys out. But as always, if you found any sort of value within this video, please drop a comment, like, and subscribe. It really helps out my channel, and it means more than you guys think. So thank you guys again, and I'll see you in the next video.